On today's wrestling news, Vince McMahon's latest tactic in his lawsuits.
The Rock has suggested that his Cody Rhodes thing right now might not lead to a match.
More AEW content coming to HBO Max.
And Carmella's WWE contract reportedly expires.
Are you ready? Are you ready for the news time? Yes, my name is Phil Chambers and I'm joined by Gareth Morgan to talk all things wrestling news. But first up, Vince McMahon and this Janelle Grant lawsuit. It just keeps on continuing on. So his latest tactic in this is both him, John Laurinaitis and WWE have all filed to oppose the amended complaint from Janelle Grant. Now, we reported on the amended complaint a couple of weeks ago. Basically added 33 pages to her original complaint, which included a bunch more details, including naming people like Brock Lesnar as the person that Vince McMahon tried to traffic her to, and he named Nick Khan, Brad Bloom, Brian Nurse, and Stephanie McMahon as the corporate officers within WWE, and named Dr. Karlan Kolka as the celebrity doctor. And it also expanded on a few of the allegations, including a section about McMahon sending sexually explicit content of Janelle Grant against her wishes to Michael Hayes in sort of work hours within WWE, and Vince pressuring her into signing her NDA. Now, Vince's lawyer, Jessica Rosenberg, has said that this is untimely, obviously, and in bad faith, and accuses them of using it to create another PR cycle, and claiming that it all needs to be put into arbitration, obviously, private arbitration, due to the terms of the NDA. Now, obviously, Janelle Grant's argument against this is that she was pressured into signing the NDA and it was under duress, and therefore the NDA shouldn't exist anyway, and therefore it should be in public arbitration. So the next step is for the judge to make a decision on this as to where it's actually going to be decided. Hopefully it ends up in public arbitration, because then we get to find out all the details, which is obviously why Vince McMahon, WWE, and John Laurinaitis all do not want it in a public court. So yeah, the next step, we're just going to have to wait and see what comes next with this. This is just another, obviously, law tactic thing to try and get this into private arbitration, and hopefully it doesn't work out for Vince McMahon, but we will have to wait and see.
Yeah, again, I definitely could say this every time this kind of story pops up to do with this whole lawsuit and everything else. There's not loads more to add into it. It's more just kind of do your research if you do want to really understand everything about this and how it is progressing. It's one of those where, like you're saying, we want that to come into the a public kind of environment, so that we can see exactly what's going on here, and then if it gets exposed in the right way, and it's not just kind of WWE, Vince McMahon and John Laurinaitis just trying to keep it behind closed doors just to protect themselves. If some horrible stuff has happened, it should be exposed. Definitely needs you should be made an example out of if that has happened. So yeah, it's just it's grim reading. If you haven't already looked at it, kind of prepare yourself for that. The lawsuit itself, I do kind of really, what's the word? I invite you to have a proper in-depth look at it, because it's harrowing, but it's a story that needs to kind of be seen right now. It's so important, and it's something that I think definitely needs to be in the public kind of sight right now, just to be seen and
Absolutely. As part of this as well, with all of these Vince McMahon things, I'll put a link to Rain in the sort of donation box, either below this video or to the side, depending on what you're watching on. They do amazing work in terms of support for sexual abuse survivors, and they just do amazing work over all of the US mainly. But yeah, so if you can donate to Rain, they do really, really good work. And yeah, it's just, we'll keep you informed as to what happens next on this.
Nice to get some good out of just a horrendous situation. So yeah, moving back into the WWE kind of on-screen weirdness that's happening right now. The Rock came back last night. It was just out of nowhere. The final boss was back, and it was okay, I'm ready now. It's the first time in ages that I've gone to bed going, I actually can't wait for SmackDown. I can't wait, because he just brings this chaos, this just madness. It's what made the build-up to WrestleMania 40 so memorable, because it was just he's announced to appear. Anything could happen now. This is great, and it kind of did, but in the weirdest way, because The Rock had this big promo bit with Cody Rhodes, Before that, he'd announced that WrestleMania 42 is going to be in New Orleans. They're in New Orleans last night, so it was like a big thing. They're like, oh my God, losing their minds. And then he had this promo thing with Cody where he was like, you're a good champion, you're a great champion, like, but I want you to be more than just a great champion and like everyone else's champion, the people's champion. I want you to be my champion. And it was all a bit like, okay, is he like saying he's going to be like his gun for hire or something? Or like, it was just a bit... just not really clear, but I don't know if it was like their way of being like, oh, we'll keep the mystery alive, but it's just a mystery that I don't think anybody was like desperate to see. It was very, very odd. And then after this, there was a press conference that was like announced beforehand. They were going to have this press conference on a SmackDown because why not? The Rock's in town. Let's just get the most out of him as we can. And he sat there and he was speaking about this whole weird Cody Rhodes thing, and The Rock just coming in and going, I'm going to drop a little story into WrestleMania season that has no connection to anything that's been built probably over the last couple of weeks and months, ever since it seemed like The Rock just wasn't going to get involved after the Netflix Raw and all that. He's come in and he said, because somebody was asking like, what's going on, like with like just everything right now, why are you back, kind of thing. And he said, in the world of pro wrestling, as we all know, everything will culminate to a match. Whatever happens, it'll end up in the ring. What I really love about this rare space that we've gotten to with the character of the final boss, it's like this white whale unicorn in that with the final boss in Cody Rhodes, it's not about the WWE title. It's not about having a match. It never has to culminate to a match. So it never has to culminate to a match is what he said. It's a really special place to be, I think, creatively. And just think, character-wise, how much fun you can have. To be able to have a storyline in two characters who are very popular. Yeah, he's like just really stressing, I'm popular still, guys. To never have to get into the ring for a match, but yet still hold this really unique, compelling, off-putting, kind of weird, he wants his soul. What does that mean? I love it, and I loved every minute of it. Yeah, in that promo, he like pointed at Cody, like saying, I want that, and he was like, not the title, I want your soul. He's a soul stealer. He's a dementor. The Rock is a dementor now, clearly. Official. He said it himself. So, I'm glad that he's acknowledged that the whole thing was kind of weird, like himself. Like he's very much aware that what I did tonight was a bit odd, but people are talking about it because of course they are. And I think he's just covering his ass, isn't he? Really, he's just going, oh well, we're doing different things now. It's cinema, so I can come in and just cut monologues and just it doesn't have to lead to a match. It's like, no, Rock, it does. We're doing wrestling. That's what it. Yeah. If you're going to take up TV time and like still be like jacked and like wrestling ready, we want a match, Rock. Okay, we want a match.
He lives by his own rules, doesn't he? He is a law unto himself. It's absolutely bizarre. He's it's a way of having your cake and eating it too, where you get to come out and do what he obviously loves, all the sort of promo stuff and the like story building things, and then he never actually has to lose. Because it doesn't have to end in a match, guys. Like, it doesn't have to. It can just be like a story. It can just be cinema.
I don't know if it was explained why he didn't turn up with his little gold People's Champion belt either for a change, which I don't mind.
Yeah,
but that was just drop that now. Like, he just kept turning up with that belt on his shoulder. And now I think someone's probably got in his ear going, it's a bit weird that, bro. He's probably fair enough. Hopefully.
I don't know. You can't argue that it gets people talking, obviously, but just because it's so goddamn weird and he's just a strange guy.
So captivating, though.
Like, I don't know if I like it or if I hate it.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I know I'll watch it.
Yeah. That's what it is.
But is it good? I don't know.
Unpredictable, unstable thing just gets dropped in the middle of a show and you're like, I can't take my eyes. It's a car crash. I'm like, I can't take my eyes off it. It's so odd. But then there's those little glimmers where it's brilliant and then it just meanders and goes off in a weird direction.
Yeah. Well, you can like have that thing with Cody after the Raw after WrestleMania last year and be like, oh my God, this is amazing. And then have that thing on the Raw in Netflix and be like, oh, he's just burnt it all down. Like that's gone now. Like, and then now he's back and he's like, what is like, I don't understand what he's doing. But who am I to judge The Rock, the deity that is The Rock? I guess we'll have to wait and see. Definitely leaves a big question mark over WrestleMania though, so I mean, it's nice to be kept guessing for a while, but also, just have a match, Rock.
As a little one as well, he did say that he wants Cody's answer to whether he can have his soul. I think he wants the Elimination Chamber.
It's just going to be like the Simpsons episode where like Cody gives him a little piece of paper and it says Cody's soul, and then it, like automatic doors don't open for him anymore. And that's the storyline.
I owe you one soul. There you go. Have that. I love wrestling. It's so weird.
But speaking of WrestleMania, we're doing a show at WrestleMania. You can come and see us, whatculture.com/tickets. We will be in Las Vegas. We're doing a big old SmackDown watch-along party, so come and join us for that. There's going to be a live Ups and Downs with Simon Miller straight away afterwards. If you're at SmackDown, you can still get a ticket and just come to see us after SmackDown, because we'll be going on until late. And if you're not going to SmackDown, you can watch it with us. Best of both worlds. And we're also doing a UK tour where you can go see us in Manchester, Belfast, Glasgow, London. There will be live episodes of either Ups and Downs or a Y, depending on the night. Belfast, I think you get the Ups and Downs. Good for you. There's going to be live podcasts, live Q&A panels, and meet and greet with all of us. Every ticket is seated. There's drinks available, and all of our shows will end with enough time for you to get to the WWE live shows afterwards. So come and make it your perfect pre-show and have some drinks and talk about wrestling with us. WhatCulture.com/tickets. But moving over to AEW. They will be adding more of their content library onto HBO Max. Now, they added everything from 1999 already, but there was sort of a bit of like umming and ahhing about when the rest of the stuff's going to end up being on there.
1999? Sweet.
2019.
My brain fried then. I was like, wow. It's been under our nose.
The AEW Attitude Era, that's already on there. God damn it, 2019.
It happens, man.
Everything is already on. But PW Insider have come through and saying that the entire pay-per-view library from 2020 to 2024 will be going up around March the 1st. Now, the TV shows and things like that are still expected to go up at some point, but not sure when. But at some point, hopefully this year, we're going to have the entirety of the AEW's tape library on HBO Max, it's about goddamn time that all of that has been available in one place. But it'll just be really good because there's a lot of good stuff in there. Now, 2025 pay-per-views, there's some confusion about what is happening. Like, there was reports about them being on Amazon Prime, but that's not been confirmed by either Prime or AEW themselves. But a part of the HBO Max deal was that pay-per-views would start streaming on HBO Max at some point live. So Tony Khan is still saying that will happen at some point in 2025, but not exactly sure when. So they're still figuring out the kinks of the HBO Max deal and when everything's going up, but it seems like at least by the end of 2025 we're going to have the entirety of the AEW tape library along with all of AEW pay-per-views all in one place, a much easier fan experience.
Yeah, that's what you want, exactly. There's that many great AEW moments that you don't necessarily just want to like jump on YouTube to just get a clip of. Like there's little nuggets like within episodes, and sometimes it's good just sitting there. Like if you really enjoyed an episode back in the day and you're like, oh, I wonder if it still lives up to it, just sitting there and like going through it all. It's good background watching sometimes, like you do with the WWE Network. You just put like an old Raw on or something, like, oh, it's good, and you should have that. If you're a big diehard AEW fan, you should be able to have access to that if you want that. So great, good, about damn time. Like hopefully we sort the 2025 pay-per-view thing out soon, because that needs to get cleared up big time.
Yeah,
that's going to be a big thing.
We'll get there.
But speaking of things that have been cleared up, you could say, like in the last like 24 hours, the status of Carmella seemingly with WWE, because we've not seen Carmella for a while now. Like she was off. I kind of go into the full details of that. Like, so she's wrestled just 6 times since August 2022. Her and Corey Graves announced in October 2022 that they'd had a miscarriage, and that obviously like accounted for a bit of the time why she was away. That was one of the major reasons. But she's like just been out of action really, like since like she's given birth as well, like so all that kind of thing. Like she's just not been seen on screen. And I think it was within the last day, both Mass J of PW Nexus and then Sean Ross Sapp, Fightful Select, Sean Ross Sapp they've reported that her contract with WWE has recently expired, so she's technically no longer part of the WWE system. So March 2023 is when she was out of action. So when she disappeared off screen as they welcomed the birth of Corey Graves and her welcomed the birth of their son. That was November 2024. And since that, she's been suffering through drop foot, and it's like a condition that comes. It can happen after childbirth, and it involves herniated discs in the back, and that presses on the nerves connected to the feet. It sounds like hell on earth. Does not sound fun at all. And she revealed that in an interview. It was with the Bellas, so both Nikki and Brie Garcia. And she mentioned that, and she said that she did want to come back. She did want to make an in-ring return. She was like, I want to do it still. Like, I miss it. I miss being in WWE. And then she even said in December, quite recently, that she was still like, yeah, I want to get back in, but she's waiting for nerves to heal. And that isn't like just put the plaster on it. That's going to take some time. So yeah, it's not really clear exactly what's going on with Carmella. She may re-sign. It may just be that she's expired, and for now they're a bit like just sort everything out, like get yourself healthy, and then like we could re-sign you again. Corey Graves obviously still with WWE as broadcaster. He's had his own stuff recently, obviously his own controversies and just getting on the old X Twitter machine and all that stuff.
He loves it.
He loves it, but yeah, we're not sure what's going on with Carmella. She's been in that WWE system since 2013, so like 12 years. Do you know what I mean? Like she's been in and around it. So it's I more than anything, I just hope she's okay. It sounds like she's had an awful time after such a wonderful moment, like bringing a child into the world and that lovely one for a family. To then have this and deal with such a big injury and scary injury as well. Yeah, it's really concerning. I hope they're okay. I really do.
Yeah, absolutely. That's this just feels a lot more like the contract's run out just because the time has run out, and it's nothing against either side. Like there's no like major decisions about anything. It's just, well, let's wait and let her heal up and sort of let her come back when she's ready. There's nothing here that is saying she won't be able to come back to WWE at any point whenever she says she's ready. So yeah, it's just one of those things where we're just gonna have to wait and see and wish her all the best and hope she gets well soon, because yeah, the drop foot thing just does not sound good at all. And yeah, just in terms of a couple of years of highs and lows from miscarriage to childbirth to the drop foot thing, it's definitely a bit of a roller coaster ride. So hopefully she's all right, and at some point, yeah, when she's ready, she can come back and kick some ass again.
And just as a little side note, just a reminder again that any of these incredible women that are managing to give birth and then eventually return to wrestling, like it's not a quick thing, and it's incredible, and they're all superhuman. So just salute a little bit to everyone that is doing it, and the people, just that are trying their best to get. Like Alexa Bliss has just recently done it. Do you know what I mean? As well, yeah. It's like they're ridiculous. They're superhuman. So big love.
Hell yeah. But that is it. Thank you very much for joining us. You can follow us all over on the old social medias. You can follow me at Fill My Chambers, and you can follow Gareth
at gmorgan04 on X, at Gareth Morgram on Instagram, and then within that, if you're into all your personal fitness and that kind of stuff, we've got at fitness.focus.gm as well.
Click the video on the screen to continue on watching YouTube videos, because YouTube really likes it when you do that. But most importantly, have yourselves a bloody good day.